Lolan's departure might have just outshined every peak moment of the story thus far, including the dancing, the almost dying, the Kairu, and even the pew pew moments. Lolan has peaked the show at the perfect time, and it is followed by the perfect send-off. It's the end for the character known as Lolan and Shisui. That stole the hearts of many, but the Apothecary Diaries story is far from over, and this might have been the thing that saved her. Welcome to the season finale of Apothecary Diaries, Season 2, Episode 24, Hajimari. And do me a favor guys, check out my other videos and check out my videos on the main channel. Jinshi wakes up Mao Mao with unintended riz just to tell her,
maybe I shouldn't have let your friend
yeet herself. Friend? I guess maybe friends can be friends, even if they hide a super secret hidden identity and kidnap you for semi-altruistic reasons. To be fair to Jinshi, he kinda just showed up. The Prime Minister simps himself to death, the daughter pulls a gun on him just so he could witness our biggest antagonist of the series literally end herself by accident. Maybe if Lolan didn't dance so captivatingly, Jinshi might have been able to save her. If we think about this logically, if a girl just went out there and danced randomly, especially after a bunch of people just died, you know what? I would have just watched her dance too. Things progress really fast between Mao Mao and Jinshi as he wants to fall asleep next to Mao Mao. And a bunch of dead features. Like any man that's fallen for a girl, and like any girl that's oblivious from a man's gaze.
Did a guy touch you? Of course not. A woman did.
Mao Mao has some inner dialogue to give our strong, beautiful man character development. He's pretty on the outside, but a real man on the inside. And it's that real man on the inside that wants to. Oh my goodness, our dead future is reviving. Listen ladies, guys, just don't care about their surroundings. Jinshi mentions being tricked like a fox in reference to Lolan's request from the previous episode, and so the kids reviving one by one from the resurrection medicine like the one Suirei took leads to Mao Mao's request in bringing back Suirei to assist her. This begins to wash the bad taste in our mouths from the previous episode, and you can't let our future die? What kind of monsters are you? Even the adopted father got his redemption to remain in the rear palace, in which in our time skip, it shows our beautiful courtesans of the Verdigris house where the ladies talk about a potentially pretty, not pretty, crown prince being revealed during the festival. Turns out Jinshi has been quite busy dealing with the Shi clan shenanigans. Gokuyo becomes the empress and Mao Mao is back at the Verdigris house with none other than Kyo. Our future is secured. Or is it? Suirei talks about the resurrection medicine still being tested. Kyo, who is now Chou, had the roughest time with it, waking up last of the 5 kids with memory loss and partial body paralyzation of his lower half. I don't think any guy wants to have anywhere near the bottom parts be paralyzed. The other 4 kids and Suirei ended up being adopted under Mother Jinshi, a duo, while Chou is stuck with Mao Mao at the Verdigris house. All of a sudden, Sekiryu arrives out of nowhere to reveal some more, revealing oh snaps moments upon us. The official hush hush don't tell anyone story is that Mao Mao and Shisui were hired elsewhere. Sekiryu arrived to leave some messages behind for Mao Mao, and notes that were left behind were from our golden retriever, Xiaolan. Mao Mao begins to read her message, and I'm pretty sure everyone else got goosebumps from this absolute heartwarming story. She worked her butt off like during the bath visits with Mao Mao and Shisui. She continued this all by herself and was then awarded with being hired by one of the concubines to work for her younger sister. Diving deeper into our touchy feelings, she talks about how much she wants to meet back up with both Mao Mao and Shisui to have some tasty ice cream once more. Mao Mao's tears is all of us, as we recognize that hard work pays off for someone, especially deservingly so, as Xiaolan. And it hits even harder when you realize that Xiaolan wrote this beautiful message herself for her friends, capping off a wonderful development from the Rear Palace's school, and also marking the end of an era in the Apothecary Diaries. However, there is still hope, and there is still one note left for Shisui. as it will serve as some foreshadowing, and maybe not, to everyone's hope and desire for a happy ending. Lolan's body was never found, which means more dancing. And how does the story set up our hopes for a revival arc? Remember the hair stick. It is going to be the one missing link in ultimate payoff that one day Shisui will return it back to Mao Mao. Because promises matter. Or not. Jinshi arrives at the Verdigrease house to claim his promise from Mao Mao. But she not botched it. For a potentially even more specialer moment. Jinshi moves on from an ice cream promise to another, more important one. Like body heat the body heat. A potential touching of his Kairu. He goes for the bite! But Mao Mao isn't any ordinary girl. And so Jinshi must make it even more clear. And he has to go all the way until arrives out of nowhere to ruin our romantic payoff with a jump scare, followed by some laughter. Instead of this kind of body heat to body heat action, we get this body heat to body heat action as our last scene of Mao Mao and Jinshi, as Jinshi falls asleep on her lap with the classic romantic ballad playing in the background. But the season finale doesn't end with just that, because you know, and everyone knows, you don't kill off fan favorite. Her name is Tamamo, in reference to the shape-shifting nine-tailed fox woman, and she totally traded the hair stick away. So I guess guys, no payoff, as it looks like he's gone for good. At the same time, if the hairpin right here is what saved Shisui, that's all Mao Mao needs to know. And if the vendor ever tells Mao Mao who the girl's name was, she might be able to decipher the meaning behind the name. This was a very appropriate send-off for the arc. Always love episodes that could end up being the worst of the worst, which is usually followed by an episode of some happy redemption. This is where the writer has to think about what the lesson will ultimately be for the audience. And what is the lasting impression does the writer want to leave us with? This episode and the previous episode does a lot of push and pull of what we think can happen, like Lolan's character. She's dead. Maybe she's not dead. She's alive, but I don't think she's coming back. With Lolan dying, not dying in the previous episode, it gives us a chance at that bittersweet, dramatic ending. That is something, while we kind of don't like it, is something that we can accept that could have happened. It's that tragic feeling of a character that we think that doesn't deserve this ending, because she was unfortunately born into someone else's vindictiveness, trying to get her revenge. And so in this season finale, we get surprises one by one, like all the kids still living along with Sire, who all actually end up being adopted by a duo. And Xiaolan's message might have gotten me like the most emotional, because she is the most heartwarming part of this entire story. We need more happy-go-lucky Xiaolans in the world to make a better world. And it's also that feeling that we won't ever get a Shisui Xiaolan and Mao Mao moment again. Like, this is literally the end of an era for this story. And that is very, very sad. But it's very important to understand, and I feel like this scene with Mao Mao reading that note that life moves on. And of course, this is the type of series that will always tease the ultimate payoff, and that is Jinshi and Mao Mao's relationship. At this point, I'm always going to expect a jump scare until it's like the very end of the story. And so from the previous episode to this episode, it pulls us to different ranges of emotions, one of bittersweet tragedy, all the way to feel-good hope. A lot of people that we care about, they're surviving. And maybe Shisui might come back at some point, only to trade away the one thing, the one link that would allow the story to potentially write a plot where they meet back up. And I think the fact that she traded away that hairpin, and especially with that bullet hole, and I think pretty much that is the last message we will ever get from this character. In a way, it still gives us that bittersweet ending of the previous episode, and also staying true that this is legitimately the end of Lolan. That Shisui, who is now Tamamo, has ultimately decided that she will leave behind her previous identities and go out in the world as this new person, leaving everything behind. So I think we will never see this character again. But you never know. maybe in the future, far, far away, something can still happen. So overall, season 2 was super rewarding, and I think overall I liked it better than season 1, and it's all because of Lolan's character. But yeah guys, let me know what you guys think about the Apothecary season 2. I would love to know what you guys think. And do me a favor guys, hit the like button if you want Tamamo to come back as a character. And subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Check out my blog at otakusin.com, and also check out my main channel. And I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.